I've always been a problem solver. And connecting with people is one of my favorite problems to solve, especially when it comes to matchmaking. Oprah and I do share a birthday after all. You get a boyfriend, you get a boyfriend, you get a girlfriend. I can't help it. Everybody loves love. That's what all the love songs are about. Love is what makes life worth living. I'm going to tell you one of my favorite love stories. I had these two friends growing up, Travis and Melissa. Travis had a crush on Melissa, but he was too scared to ask her out. So I did what I do best. I meddled. And I tricked them into going into the janitor's closet at school, very romantic. And there, among the mops and the solvents, he got the courage to ask her out. And she said yes. And the rest is history. They've been married for 20 years, and they have 4 kids. So that went pretty good. Growing up in the Mennonite church taught me the important values of community, service, and peace. And I love the beauty and the power that the Mennonite church used to get their needs met. And I want to spread that gospel. We've been programmed to think that dating apps are the only way to find love, but I know a better way, and it's right in front of us. In my day job, I'm the CEO of Happy Lucky, a creative agency. But my passion is building community. I had this friend, Nancy. She was a total catch. She was a babe, she was smart, she was funny, and she was on all the dating apps, but she kept striking out, and I couldn't understand it. If Nancy couldn't make it work, the rest of us didn't stand a chance. And I looked around and saw that my friends and coworkers were having some of the same problems. They were on all the apps, they were never going on dates. So that awakened the problem solver and the matchmaker in me, and I decided to do something. I sat down with my friend Hillary one day, and we made a Google sheet of all the single people we knew. We listed their Instagram handles and their attributes, and we believed from that list we had to know somebody that would be a good match for Nancy. Well, we were right. We found some people, and we sent her out on some dates, and she reported back that it was awesome. She had a quality experience. She felt like there was a safety net of accountability. And so, people found out about that list, of course. She talked about it. Everybody wanted on the list. The list grew. It became kind of unmanageable for me and Hillary. So we decided to go kind of big with helping Nancy and her friends, and we turned that list into an app. And the app was called Reco, short for recommendation. We described it as the new old way to date, where you use your network and your existing community to find matches for your friends. In the words of Maya Angelou, when we know better, we do better. Since the beginning of time, people have found people to love and partner with. So why can't we now? I believe in community over algorithms. For millennia, people have looked to their community to weather life's storms, to get their needs met, and to solve life's problems. And that includes finding love. There has been a seismic shift in how we meet and connect people, and we haven't even realized this happened. We've stopped turning to and trusting our community to build relationships, and we have outsourced all our interpersonal skills to our phones. We have looked to our phone to become our wingman. And it's not like people aren't looking for love. They are. There are 337 million people on dating apps at any given time. And it's a $9 billion industry, and it's growing. And of course it's growing, because tech is designed to be addictive. The more of your time it has, the more profitable it is. Dating apps are built on a structure called the variable ratio schedule. So think Las Vegas slot machines. It makes you think there's a reward around every corner. So of course you're going to take one more pull on that slot machine, because you know the very next pull is going to be a bonus. Or you're going to do one more swipe in your app, because you're just about to hit the love jackpot. Of course, you're spending 90 minutes a day in dating apps if you think your soulmate is in the next swipe. Tech promises outcomes it cannot deliver on, and it capitalizes on your precious time, on your precious life. Did you know that you touch your phone 2,600 times per day? And by you, I mean I do it too. We use our phones to self-soothe. They have become our lovers. We have become codependent on them. Codependency, doing something for someone that they could be doing for themselves, often to your detriment. What have you outsourced just today that might have robbed you of the chance to interact with an actual real-life human? What and who have you missed out on by being in a one-way relationship with your phone? We're in a pandemic of loneliness. And the lonelier we get, the more we view others as threats. It's called the distrust doom loop. We become lonely. We start to see other people as being dangerous, which in turn makes us more lonely. It's a cruel, self-fulfilling prophecy that we get hijacked in. And it's really hard to get out of it. And the only way out is by being fearless and connecting with other humans. And if you don't, you might enter goblin mode. Have you heard of goblin mode? My Gen Z employees taught me about goblin mode. I'll tell you, it's basically when you're holed up in your apartment, you're not showering, you're ordering from DoorDash, but you don't want to have to interact with the delivery driver, so you just leave it out there. I don't want to have to talk to you. And you're eating in bed, of course. There's crumbs everywhere. You're watching 90 Day Fiancé on mute, and you're just scrolling on your phone. I mean, we've all been there, but it's just not sustainable. You've got to get out. If you think about it, though, it makes sense that 70% of people aren't getting off of dating apps and going out on dates because goblin mode is a pretty big leap from getting cute to getting cute and date ready. The quality of our relationships determine the quality of our lives. But we have to be able to get into those relationships in the first place. We are social creatures, hardwired for human connection. And Gen Z and younger hasn't experienced a world without tech. They haven't had the chance to build the social muscle of creating community and interacting without the crutch of tech. And if they're looking to us, millennials and older, good luck. We're atrophying too. So how can we look to Gen Z to be the future and to be the next if we've allowed them to drown in loneliness and anxiety? And you might be remembering there's 337 million people on dating apps, so you would think Gen Z could find people to at least physically connect with, but they can't. Gen Z is having sex at a lower rate than any generation before them. It's both the cause and the symptom of the loneliness. And loneliness is deadly. We've all heard it in the news. Weak social ties are as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. When will we view this as a public health crisis? When will we stop allowing companies to put profits before people like we did with big tobacco? Tech is evolving faster than our consciousness. Hello, AI. Harvard professor Robert Putnam studied the drastic decline in civic engagement in the 90s. He called it the displacement theory. By this time, TV sets had become the commonplace in American homes. And he noticed it was a major contributor to people spending more time at home and less time out engaging in community. He called that privatizing leisure time. For most of human history, we had to leave our homes to gather, to go out and to interact. We would gather around a campfire, and we'd have a meal, and we'd tell stories, and we'd bond. But now, everyone had their own private campfire, the glowing box in the living room. He noticed that normal social engagement dropped, like bowling leagues, church, Rotary Club, and he noted that there was an erosion in the social safety net. And in the last couple decades, there's a new kind of campfire, an even more isolating campfire, our phones, our individual campfires. I remember a time before we had the dopamine casino and the individual campfire in our pocket at all times blowing up. And I want us all to live in a world where we can be fully present with one another and connecting with other humans without being lured back to the siren song in our pocket. Life is made up of small moments, and all good things are wild and free. We need to invest in social capital. Do you know what social capital is? Everyone has a time and energy bank. And you can choose how you want to spend that time and energy bank. You can invest in your friends, your family, your community, and that investment grows. And then when you're in a time of need, that investment will pay off, and your community will take care of you. I want to tell you 2 stories of social capital that made it possible for me to stand here today. When I was 11, I came home from school, and I saw my mom being carried out on a stretcher to an ambulance. It was very scary. She had a life-threatening brain tumor. So my brother, sister, dad, and I were all standing there overwhelmed. What are we going to do? Our mom is our rock. She does everything for us. And it felt really overwhelming. Without us asking our community, they came together and they took care of us. They brought us meals for 2 years. They took us to sports practice. They took us to school, completely selflessly. I can't imagine where we'd be if our community had not come together for us at that time. My mom had the chance to heal without the stress of worrying about her family. And my dad could do what he knew how to do best, which is take care of the family through working. I am so grateful and will always be so grateful for that outpouring of love from the community. My grandpa Stutzman was a ryegrass farmer, and he had a massive heart attack. And the doctor said, if you keep farming, you will die. Pretty overwhelming if all of your money comes from being able to harvest your crop and sell it. And now what are you going to do? Either die or harvest your fields. He didn't know what to do. And one day, he woke up and he looked out the window and he saw 25 combines coming down the road. They were there to harvest his field. His community had come together for him without asking. They saved him from the potential financial catastrophe of not being able to take care of his farm. Who could do that for you? Who would show up? We need to invest in community. Our lives depend on it. The lone wolf is a sick wolf. So, where do we go from here? It's a big problem, a problem that feels maybe too big to solve. I encourage you to just try something. Start in your community and let what you do ripple out. Start with your corner of the world. That's what we did with Recco. Do you remember Recco? It was an app I made with my friend Hillary for our friend Nancy, who's a total babe. We intended for Recco to help our friends save their precious time, stay off of their phones and be out in the world interacting. We wanted them to use tech as the tool, not the destination. So what we did with Recco was we put the friends of the daters back in the driver's seat. We allowed them to crowdsource a profile for their friends because we all have a friend who's a total catch who we would write a profile for. Of course, we want them to find love. Friends of the daters work with each other to set the daters up on dates. And people do this because it feels good. Altruism releases the same endorphins as exercise. It's called the helper's high. So we brought this to investors, and we showed them our idea and our app, and they were like, cool, 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 we love your idea, it's really cute, it's really fun, but how are you going to make money? Of course. So we had to figure out a way to monetize it that felt like it was in our value set, which is using tech as a tool, not the destination. So what we did was, in the app, 2 matchmakers decide that they're going to send their daters to the bar Hey Love. And one of these daters is always late. So they schedule an Uber through the app to pick them up and deliver them on time to the date. We should do this in other apps maybe too. Recco gets a kickback from the local restaurant and from the rideshare company. Everybody wins. But none of this will even work if we don't have social capital and community. You have to have people who care enough about you and love you enough to want to set you up on a date. I'm going to tell you an example of social capital from my life. Do you remember Travis of Travis and Melissa? I knew him a long time. He was a great friend growing up. When we were in middle school, we were part of this group we called the Wolf Gang, and we all had matching shirts with wolves howling on them, and we would dare each other to do stupid stuff like jump out of the hayloft, or who could hold the electric fence the longest, you know. I mean, our frontal lobes weren't fully developed. We couldn't help ourselves. Anyway, but he showed up for me when my mom was sick. He was my friend all through high school. And when he told me he had a crush on Melissa, I was like, oh, of course I'll help you. Of course I'll help you get set up with Melissa. That's social capital. We need to use tech as a tool, not the destination. So, let me leave you with this. Tech is a runaway train. It is growing and changing exponentially, and there will be big challenges ahead. And the only way we can face those challenges is together, with community. And if we don't, we'll become sick, lone wolves living in goblin mode, and we don't stand a chance for what's to come. I want you all to try something. Maybe it's creating a new policy. Maybe it's making an app to set your friends up on dates. That's for you all to figure out, and I believe you can do it. Try something. I caught up with Melissa of Travis and Melissa, if you remember her, and I asked her, what has your relationship meant to you? And she said, honestly, thank you. He's my best friend. I can't imagine life without him. Sappy, I know it, but I keep loving him more and more every day. Either we use tech or tech uses us.